You know, I had an opportunity, actually I shouldn't say I did, our family, we had an opportunity to have one of the coolest moments of our life as a family, you know, just recently. My son, he's a great kid, you know, a lot of energy, pretty positive, but he grew up with not a great self-image or a lot of, you know, self-esteem, and he, you know, had some challenges, and because of that, he could get caught up in this victim's mindset a little bit, and you could hear him making excuses and blaming people like, you know, Dad, no teacher, my teachers, it's their fault, and my coaches, you know, it's their fault, and stuff like that. And you hear that as a parent, and it really hits you because you know that's not a mindset that's going to help them in life. And here's the deal, you know, we go to work, we love the people that we work with, we want to help them succeed, but nobody will capture your attention or break your heart more than your own family. And a lot of times our own family are the hardest ones to help. And so, you know, we knew this growing up, and the truth is he gave up on a lot more things than he ever finished. And so he decided, he came up to us one day and said, hey, I think I want to do something. And he said, I want to do the Ironman. And for those of you that don't know what the Ironman is, it's a 2.4 mile swim in the open water, it's a 112 mile bike ride, and it's a full marathon, so a 26.2 mile marathon. So it's 140.6 miles, and you have to do it within 17 hours or you're not an Ironman. And so now here's what you have to understand. Our son never swam and never had lessons. I mean, usually if we were in the water, he had some sort of a life vest, and then when he got older, he could, you know, dog paddle, and that was good. And so he never swam. He didn't own a bike ever. I mean, I bought him a little Stingray when he was little, and that disappeared, so that was awesome. And so anyways, and then he'd never run. Outside of sprints and football, he'd never run. So when he came and he told us this, we were like, oh, that is awesome. But inside, honestly, we're like going, you know, that's a long way. That's stuff you've never done. But we supported him. And so he got a bike. He started swimming, he started running, and a lot of this we didn't see because he moved over to another state where he was going to school, so a lot of the stuff he did, and we didn't see him. So the day comes for the event, and he comes home, and he's home, and a bunch of people from school come, and they're there with us, and they're going to go watch him, and we've got 40 people with these bright T-shirts on that, you know, have, you know, his name and, you know, team, and we stick out, and so we're there to support him and everything. And inside our mind, we're wondering, is he going to make it? And I got to be honest, I'm going to lean in for this because I don't want a lot of people to hear it. We thought for sure he wouldn't finish. You know, and you know what? And it breaks my heart as a father to think that, but I'm being honest because I know that what he's gone through. And I know some of the challenges that he's had and some of the setbacks and some of the blaming, and it wasn't my fault. And so we're there, and all we can do is encourage him. And so the morning comes, and we're there really early. They're getting ready for the swim. Now, in our minds, he doesn't know how to swim, right? So we're really nervous, you know, not only as spectators, but as parents. We're thinking, dude, just stay above water. We don't even care if you finish. Just, you know, be somewhere where someone can lift you out. You know, it was like, and so anyways, the swim starts, and they have to do 2 laps, and then so the first lap and then the second lap, people start coming out. And some people come out, and they're looking good, and some people are coming out, and they can barely walk, and people are having to say, no, it's this way, and we're thinking, man, I hope he looks like that, at least, you know, at least we could have that. That would be good, you know. And so we're looking, and everybody looks the same, so finally someone says, here he comes, and so we're looking, and sure enough, we could tell by his big smile, which I wasn't expecting. He comes running out of the water, and he is smiling, and he has got energy, and he's like, yes, you know. And I'm like, how did he do that? How did he do that? You know, because our mind, he didn't swim. He was like, how did he do that? And he's so fresh. And I was like, whew, one down. And he goes into the transition, he gets on his bike, and so everywhere we could be, where we could see him, we had our we were clapping, but as a father, I was looking at his face, right? How many of you dads and moms know what I'm talking? I'm looking at his face. Is he tired? Is he fatigued? Is he mentally tough? Is he hanging in there? That's what I'm looking at. And every time I saw him go by on the bike, I thought, I think he likes this. I think he's enjoying it. I think this is good, you know? And so I'm like, okay. So then we see him at the halfway point of the 112-mile bike ride, right? And then we're seeing him again. I go, man, he's still in this thing. He's still having fun. So then he finishes, and we're at the transition tent between the bike and the run. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to get a real close-up now. See, I'm going to ask him how he's doing. So here he comes out of the tent, and he comes running up to us. And he's like, hey, man, I just feel great. I went, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. And he goes, no, man, I feel so good right now. Man, that was a great ride. I'm just ready to go. And boom, off he went. He's running. Full marathon. And I'm thinking, this is good. And so, again, we're watching him and we're cheering him. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see my cover photo is us halfway in the run. It's Terry Gurno, Facebook, Terry Gurno, that, whatever that is anyways. You can see right there, you can see us halfway through his run. We're just going nuts. And inside, we're just thinking as his family, man, this is like the most exciting thing. So then, you know, we go over to the finish line, and we're in the stands, and we're like the finish line is here, and we're sitting like right here because we don't want to miss this. We still know, hey man, something could happen and whatever. So finally, I have a friend that's up at this corner. There's this one corner you come around, then you come down Sherman Avenue, and it's the main street in Coeur d'Alene. And that's the first place somebody running the event can see the finish line. And we had a friend that's done this before. And he was a really close friend of ours. We just love this guy. You know, we almost lost him because he had a brain injury, was in a coma, and had to relearn to do everything over again. And so he's there waiting for Levi. And Levi sees him, and this guy comes over and he hugs him. And he says, you're going to do it. And he turns around and he says, there's the finish line. And Levi turns and he starts coming. So I get a text, hey, he's on his way. So we're looking, right? And so we, you know, a bunch of people pass, and all of a sudden we could see him coming down the chute. And I mean, it's hard to describe when you love somebody and they've had a lot of disappointment and they've had a lot of setbacks. And they've said, well, it really wasn't all my fault. It was, you know, and there's something that breaks for you, inside of you, for this person. And it could be a family, it could be someone you work with. And that's what was going on inside of us. And we saw him, and he came through that chute, and he comes running through, and we are yelling our brains out. And he doesn't hear us. We're right here. And so he stops like right here's the finish line. He stopped like 12 inches from the finish line because we're like, hey, we're here, right? And he stops and he comes over and he hugs us all, and we're high-fiving, and there's tears and all that kind of stuff. And then he turns around and he goes a few feet, he crosses, and here's what was so cool. When you cross that finish line, the announcer, he calls out your name. In this case, it was my son, and he says, you are an Ironman. And for everybody that crosses that finish line, it's one of the coolest moments they'll ever experience. And at that moment, that was our son. And at that moment, his life changed. He wrote on his Facebook the next day, he said, 1 year ago, I made a commitment to change my life in every single area. And I can say honestly today, I'm a different person than I was a year ago. And I'm so thankful for your encouragement and your support. That is what owning it will do, not only for your life, but for your business.